to have your first black female president, that would also be historical.
Yeah, it'd be
right?
huge.
A first of its kind. Not just first female, but first black female. Wouldn't it piss you off if the person that got identified as the first black female president wasn't even black?
Wasn't even black.
Like, that seems like a slap in the face. Like, you're Jamaican and white with an Indian kicker. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand new Over the Line. This time we have John Bird.
Hello, everyone. It's good to see you.
And also we have Tony Gaunt.
It's great to see everybody as well.
See, I don't ever know how to start the show.
Yeah.
What do I do? I need to like, we don't talk about it beforehand. I need something laid out to say, open the show this way.
I got an idea. Why don't you pretend like we're talking before? Well, actually, we do talk before it comes on, and you just right in the middle of where you're talking.
Yeah, let's start doing that. I like that better.
Yeah. You know, because what these people are doing, what you're doing out there is they're actually sitting right here. They're sitting, you know, beside me or beside you. They're a part of the show. You people are a part of the show. You're a part of our heart.
That's a good point.
You know? So, you know, why not? They just, you know, we're talking and they're, you know, and you're welcome to interrupt.
No, don't interrupt.
No, well, you can't anyway.
we get people interrupt on the comments too. I mean, somebody's always offended about something. Like, you didn't do that, or whether it's YouTube or Twitter, they're like, "Well, you're in a cult. You're in a blah." Shut up.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, if you don't like my Twitter, if you don't like our YouTube channel or our podcast,
go away.
move along.
Move along.
We're trying to save the country here.
Yeah. We're doing adult stuff. I mean, I know it seems a little less than adult sometimes.
Yeah.
But we're doing big boy things over here. Okay. We, on the radio show, we just lucked up. In the middle of the day, we don't get a lot of, breaking news, things happening that we can just carry long form. Mm-hmm. But today, Christmas came early. And Donald Trump made an appearance at the National Association of Black Journalists. Now, just for some context, and I think everybody knows this, black people traditionally vote Democrat. All right, that's been the traditional line of thinking, which is not always true. I mean, you know, the black community is very diverse, and there's plenty of people that vote plenty of different ways, but the mainstream thinking is if you're black, you gotta vote Democrat. Yeah. And so that has prevented Republicans in the past from ever addressing the black community or the issues that face the black community. And it definitely prevents Republicans to going into some sort of, black crowd, event or go speak to a black crowd or whatever. They just don't do it. And
they write them off. They're like, well, we can't get them anyway.
Right. They write them off, and it has been a major fault of Republicans for a very long time. Donald Trump's not like those people. He will go into the heart of the lion's den, and he'll take them on and not even blink. And that's what he did when he went to this conference today. I didn't know what it was. I knew, like, moments before it happened that he was going, but I thought maybe he was going to speak like he normally does, get at a podium, freestyle on a teleprompter, yada. It was a round table Willie. And
he was epic.
He gets up there, and it's him against three other moderators or journalists or whoever they are. One's from ABC, the other's from Fox News. It's Harris Faulkner, and then there's a third one. I don't know who she is. And the way this started, it told you right off the bat, okay, they brought him in here because they wanted to be hostile. They wanted to do the gotcha questions and make Trump look like an idiot because they had probably been directed by those in the Harris camp or the Democrat Party to, hey, we need some new sound bites about Donald Trump because we're trying to pin Project 2025 to him. We're trying to pin this, that, and it's not working. We need him to actually say something that makes him look bad or makes him look racist or whatever. So here's how that roundtable started.
I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told four congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabid to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist.
He's like, here we go.
Had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question so in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC?
What kind of ice cream you like?
They're a fake news network, a terrible network. And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country.
Got a couple fans in the crowd.
Employment, including opportunity zones with Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, which is one of the greatest programs ever for black workers and black entrepreneurs. I've done so much, and and I say this, historically black colleges and universities were out of money. They were stone cold broke, and I saved them, and I gave them long-term financing, and nobody else was doing it. I think it's a very rude introduction. I don't know exactly why you would do something like that. And let me go a step further. I was invited here, and I was told my opponent, whether it was Biden or Kamala, I was told my opponent was going to be here. It turned out my opponent isn't here. You invited me under false pretense. And then you said, you can't do it with Zoom. Well, where's Zoom? She's going to do it with Zoom, and she's not coming. And then you were half an hour late. Just so we understand, I have too much respect for you to be late. They couldn't get their equipment working or something. I think it's a very nasty question. I have answered the question. I have been the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln.
Whoa.
There you go, baby.
Sign the Voting Rights Act.
You to start off a question and answer period, especially when you're 35 minutes late because you couldn't get your equipment to work in such a hostile manner, I think it's a disgrace. I really do.
Look at that. Oh, that's so good.
And she was done for right after that. Anything she said.
And she was shocked that there were people in the crowd that were like, yeah, he's right. Oh, man. What a masterclass that is. Masterclass Donald Trump puts on right there. He talks a little different. He phrases things a little differently than you're used to. But he's right about all the stuff.
I've never seen them be like that towards Joe Biden or anybody else for that matter.
No, of course not. Never.
He's who he is. He's always been who he is, and he's not going to change for anybody.
Well, you see how he explains that this was a setup. They baited him in by saying your opponent's going to be here in a rare moment that y'all could be at the same place at the same time. Trump would love that. Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, not so much. They don't want that. He would love that. So they lied to him about Kamala being there. He shows up. Then they make him wait for half an hour because they can't get their equipment to work, which ultimately it still didn't work. He had trouble hearing Harris Faulkner throughout the whole thing.
Even she admitted, I can't hear very well.
And so he puts out on True Social, hey, they're making me wait because I would not make y'all wait. It's not me that's late. And then he gets up there and he's like, I wouldn't make you
Why
people
was
wait.
the sound equipment not tested the day before?
Right. Seems like something you do.
Maybe the Secret Service was in charge of it.
Maybe.
The sound division of the Secret Service.
So that was pretty much to the extent of the round table. It was a lot of that, a lot of viciousness. Harris Faulkner was a little more fair than the other chick, but Donald Trump did exactly what Donald Trump does. and put on an amazing performance in front of a crowd that no other Republican would do. No other politician would. Not just Republican, but Democrats aren't going to go into a hostile environment and answer questions. None of them.
It's got to be controlled. Everything they do is controlled.
And everything they asked was about getting Trump to say something that seemed somewhat racist. Yep. That's all they wanted. They just give me a sound clip of Trump sounding racist, and they didn't get it. They even went down the road of asking if he thinks Kamala Harris isn't black, because he said that. He's like, I don't know. I didn't know she wasn't black. This is Donald Trump answering that question that I think we all still have at this point.
I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She is always identified as a black woman.
I respect either one. I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do you believe that
I think somebody should look into that too when you ask continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
It's a direct question, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is a DEI hire, as some Republicans
really don't
have
know.
said?
I mean, I really don't know. Could be.
He said could be. I don't know. You tell me. When he says somebody needs to look into that, that's Trump's way of saying it's true. Prove me wrong. Somebody needs to look into that.
He's very different from he's learned a lot from 2016, even through his presidency, because he's not giving them what they want.
No.
You know, I mean, he's to me it was like, I don't know, I don't really care. That's not my focus, and I like the way he kept bringing it back.
Oh yeah,
it's like he had to rein them in.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I got the impression he's the only politician I haven't seen pander to wherever he goes and change his accent or whatever. He's like the same guy.
Bingo. And he doesn't have a problem saying, hey, I've done a lot for you. I'll do a lot for you again. He says, I've done more for the black community than anybody since Abraham Lincoln. Nobody else will have the balls to say that. But he can say it because he's able to back it up. Whether it's opportunity zones, who he's benefited is black workers, is black business owners. Like, they have gone out of their way to make sure that happened. And his point about the HBCUs, they would, when I say they, I mean Barack Obama, George Bush, they would, Bill Clinton, force HBCUs to come up to the White House once a year and ask for funding. Because they wanted the photo op. They wanted to be able to put it out there that, look at us, we're with the HBCU leaders, and we're giving them money because we really like black people and black colleges. And Trump asked the guys when they came up there, why do you have to come up here every year? They said, well, they'll only give us so much money, so we have to come back. He's like, well, that's stupid. He's like, well, why don't we do 10 or 20 years at a time, whatever it was. He's like, here's a ton of money. You don't have, he goes, I hate that I'm not going to see you anymore. That there's no reason for you to have to come all the way up here. That's the right thing to do.
Yes.
That's the right thing to do, because those guys and girls are being used as political pawns by previous presidents who just wanted the photo op. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Let's talk about Kamala Harris and whether or not she's black. As Trump said, somebody needs to look into it. So I decided to take that upon myself and look around and see not whether or not Kamala Harris is black, but just, has Kamala Harris called herself black? Has she identified as black? Because everything in 2024, everything's about identifying, right?
Yep.
And every clip I come across looks like this, where Kamala Harris is identifying herself as an Indian.
Okay, so what we're going to cook today is an Indian recipe.
Yes.
Because you are Indian.
Yes.
Okay, and I don't know that everybody knows that. But
Yes,
I
yes.
find that wherever I go and I see Indian people at the supermarket, on the street, everyone's like, you know, Kamala Harris is Indian, right? It's like the thing we're so excited about, to have you running for president.
Yeah.
So we're both Indian,
Yes.
but actually we're both South Indian.
Yes. You look like the entire one half of my family.
Okay, thank
That's
you.
racist.
I'm telling you, we're related already,
Yeah.
so this is perfect. It's basically true. And so, were you raised eating South Indian food?
South Indian food.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
she's Indian. That's what's it. That's Kamala Harris says that, not me.
Yep.
She says she's Indian. And if you notice, she says it's so exciting that we've got somebody that's Indian running for president, which means this video was shot just in the last few days because unless that's from 2020, maybe that's from 2020. I don't know what the time frame. It doesn't matter.
No.
It's either from a few days ago or it's from 4 years ago, and she was identifying as Indian. But now Kamala Harris is black. Why don't we do this? Why don't we just take a look as we are investigating whether or not Kamala Harris is black? Let's just take a look at an old family photo, shall we?
Okay. That
family.
sounds
Oh, here we go. Wow. I've never seen a black family photo look like that before.
They'll have like red marker on their forehead or something.
Oh, that's
that off.
That's about
I don't usually see that in black family pictures. Odd, but I mean, maybe Kamala
To each
Harris
his
is,
own, I guess.
maybe she's just a different kind of black family. The ones that dress like that and have the red dot.
Interesting.
Okay, maybe that doesn't mean anything. Let's go a different route. Let's look at, let's try her birth certificate, shall we? Kamala Harris birth certificate.
Okay.
Female, or is that must be, this child. Female, Kamala Harris, single. Yeah, you got to put that she's single when she's born.
What?
That's a little strange. October 20th, 1964. A little younger than you, John Bird, right?
Yes.
By what, 1 year?
Yes.
How about that? 9:28 p.m. Looking, place of birth. What else we got here? What's that? What's the fourth section there say? On the left side.
On the left side, fourth section, residence, Berkeley. Oh, name of father, Donald Jasper.
Donald Jasper.
Harris.
What's his birthplace?
He's Jamaican.
Oh, he's born in Jamaica.
Yeah, and the mother is Caucasian, it says.
Caucasian, birthplace India. So Jamaican
Wait a minute.
and Caucasian, but Indian. So if surely it says Africa on there somewhere, African, right?
Yeah.
African
I don't see
American.
that. I just see the father from Jamaica and the mother from India.
Oh no. Oh, we might have a problem.
Maybe
here,
the
John
birth
Bird.
certificate's mistaken.
Maybe it's a fake birth certificate like Obama's.
It could be.
What if we get Obama's birth certificate and it turns out like he's full white? He's just got a really good tan. Obama's got both his parents are white.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, so that's not working out for Kamala. Family photo, birth certificate. Now, here's the thing. Forget all that. I know you may think birth certificates and family photos are a big deal, but they're really not. What it's really about is how you act. And at the end of the day, I think Kamala can identify as black because she went to Atlanta yesterday and she blackened it up when she was giving her speech.
God.
She did. Check this out. This is Kamala Harris in her brand newfound accent.
And you all helped us win in 2020, and we're going to do it again in 2024. Yes, we will.
Yes.
So let's get right. So in this campaign, I will proudly put my record against his any day of the week.
Any day of the week. Yeah, so there's Kamala. So yeah, she's obviously black.
Including, for example, on the issue of immigration.
Oh my gosh. What?
She's black. She's so black. And surely the black community is looking at this and being like, dude, I mean, how disrespectful is it? Because having for Obama, we're considering Obama to be black, okay? He's definitely more black than Kamala. It was a big deal. It should be a big deal for the entire country to have your first black president. Unfortunately, he turned out to be a scumbag and an awful president, but it's a big deal. It's a historical moment.
Right.
So to have your first black female president, that would also be historical.
Yeah, it'd be huge.
A first of its kind. Not just first female, but first black female. Wouldn't it piss you off if the person that got identified as the first black female president wasn't even black?
Wasn't even black.
Like, that seems like a slap in the face. Like, you're Jamaican and white with an Indian kicker.
Yeah, but I think that's a side effect of the Trump derangement syndrome.
Like,
they don't care.
You're willing to throw out the integrity of what a black person is, or what it means to be black,
right,
in order to stop Donald Trump.
I don't think most of the black population realizes she's Indian. To be honest,
I don't think so either. I think there's a lot of people out there that it just hadn't hit them yet, or the news cycle hasn't got to them to tell them, hey, this girl ain't black. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black.
You ain't black.
It's obvious that Kamala Harris did not vote for Joe Biden. She voted for herself.
Now, if the country was 13% Indian, I assume she would go with the India theory.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, if the Indian population was as big, if not larger, than the black population in this country, then she would not be. If it was larger than the black population, there is no way in hell she would identify as black.
I would really like to see, what is it, 123Me, the DNA testing?
Yeah, 43andMe.
23andMe, I think.
23andMe. It's one of those.
Close.
Whatever.
One of those. But I mean, I would love to see what her true lineage is, and to see if there is any African American.
Didn't it come out that she's got some grandparents that were slave owners?
I think it did.
Can we Google that real quick?
Yeah, I believe
Kamala Harris, somebody traced it back to maybe South Carolina or something, or maybe it was in Jamaica. I don't remember. Kamala Harris, slave owner heritage descendants. Yeah, that's perfect. Kamala's, let's see. Kamala Harris is a cop whose family owned slaves in, this is Reuters, we can go with that.
Try that one.
Who owned slaves in Jamaica. There it is. Look at that.
What are the odds?
So you got somebody pretending to be black who comes from a lineage of slave owners.
Now, if she was trying to pander to the most voters in the country, don't you assume she would claim she was white?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's where the math would lie.
I mean, she could, because half of it's white, right?
Or at least say I'm white and black.
Yeah, but you got that TDS to think about.
Oh, yeah.
They don't care. You know?
Well, a big thing is, and this is probably the driving force behind going with Kamala, assuming that she ends up being the nominee. It's still not a given. With Joe Biden and the Democrats losing the black support they were, especially after the assassination attempt, they had to figure out a way. So they're really going to be pushing this Kamala as black thing. And it's, I mean, they're just going to double. I mean, she was blacking it up so much that she brought Megan Thee Stallion to, and this is the best part. So Megan Thee Stallion, who y'all may know, she's a rapper or whatever. They advertised this Kamala Harris rally as a free Megan Thee Stallion concert. Megan Thee Stallion comes out, does a little concert, and then when she's done, Kamala Harris comes out and speaks. And within 5 minutes of the speech, people start leaving because they were not there to listen to Kamala Harris talk. Here's some of the footage from Megan Thee Stallion. Here's what I want you to pay attention to as we watch this. And you may have to pull us off the screen, Tony. If you'll look in the background at the yellow shirts, there's one old lady in particular who looks so befuddled and so confused and doesn't understand anything that's going on right now. If you look, let's see, she is to the right of the Kamala sign on the front row. Just watch her face.
Right here?
Yeah.
It's hard with this phone. We might get dinged by YouTube for this music, but maybe not.
She's looking over at her friend. She's like, Susie, what's going on here? She almost doesn't want to make eye contact with Megan Thee Stallion's behind. She's so out of it. And all those, look at the other white people behind her. The guy on the top left. He's holding his phone. He's like,
I'm on TV.
I hope my wife's not watching me watch this. And then the one white lady, look at her. Middle-aged white lady. She's getting down with it. Okay, that's enough of that before they ding us. That was, oh, man.
They have no clue what she's singing about.
No, they were completely lost. By the way, if we just jumped scenes for those on YouTube, that means they kicked us. They clipped our Megan Thee Stallion clip there. But the old white women in the background were actually there to see Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
And they had no idea what was going on with Megan Thee Stallion, which we mentioned this on the show. What if we do a Megan Thee Stallion, that song in particular, with Angry Shakespeare Dale?
Oh, man.
Would you be willing to do that, like, right now?
Now?
Yeah. Let's do that now. Would you say it's just like a practice run?
Okay. What? Oh, hold on.
You were supposed to have it ready, I think, weren't you?
Actually, no.
Oh, he just happens to have the lyrics with him.
Look at this.
Wow.
What are the odds?
That's amazing.
Oh, my gosh.
Fascinating.
I just was wanting to go through them because I love her. She's great.
Well, I'm glad you have those on hand. Let's if Tony would set the mood, we'll do a little music here, and then
I'll self-beep myself. I'll do beep.
Yeah, or you could replace the words like the F word with you could just say F. You could say ish. You could say whatever, however you feel you need to do it.
I haven't read a lot of this, so
okay.
What comes out is.
How about this? How about you say them, and then we'll just beep it on the backside for the podcast audience.
And delete this original.
Yes, and delete this original. So just do the words, and then we'll handle it when we get done.
Okay.
Good evening, and welcome to a live Angry Shakespeare Raps. Not in the Great Book of Rap, we have Megan Thee Stallion with Body.
I'm so excited right now.
Crud, Brap MM, Mad Yo, EE English girl named Fiona, Big baddie girl named Abiola, Body oddy shaped like cola, bah. Back up, bring it to the owner. Man, I'm still up the roads, coulda left, ma bah. Still chatting to my bros on the tech, Feep that, man, I don't give a feep. Boom, boom. What you gonna get smoked? Cigarette? Bah, bah, bah. English girl named Fiona. African girl Adiola. Body oddy shaped like cola. Back up. Aye. Come closer. High as a kite, never sober. Shotta. Python, hit him with a cobra. Free up my bro Casanova, free him up. Bad man persona. Bad man alone can control her. Troll her. Sorry, your sis got bent over. Push in my ood, take anaconda. Aye. Have you seen the state of her body? Mad. If I beat it, I ain't wearing a Johnny. Ha! Adiola wanna roll with a geezer, Is it me or the lifestyle, sweetheart? Actually, I don't give a sheep. I'm a rapper now. Might as well live in it. She smoke up in my hotel, billing it. You can do what you like, darling. RD don't give a feep. Still get brain when I smoke cigarettes. I see one of them IC3s. I make the hand ting beat. Brap. Kneesy struck in the streets. Shout out to my 3x3s. Brr, brap. Touch my watch, man. You must be crazy. Bad him up. Had a rollie. Then I switched to the AP. Boom. Body like an earthquake. Something like Haiti. She knows me in pages. She calling me baby. Yes. In 23 hours, had them bring that back. Bring it. A Rolex can't faze me. Time be money. So beep, come pay me. Swing both ways, so bring your lady. Jiggy with a baddie. Wanna come jiggy with it? And I ain't talking wops. Really? But she know that I'm strapped. Really, really with it. Yeah, you know me. I'm really, really with it. Can't compare when you talk about stacks. Man, I'm still up on the roads. Coulda left, Still chatting to my bros on the tech, ba. Feep that, man. I don't give a feep. Brr. What? You want to get smoked? Cigarette. African girl, adiola. Body shaped like a cola. Back up, I. Come closer.
It's just a bunch of words.
It makes no sense.
I'm trying so hard to follow along, but I'm not getting any of it.
Is that it?
There's some more.
Yeah, just
shit
trash
in here,
it.
but
It's fine. It's fine. He just went through all that self-censorship and finished it with, there's a bunch of shit in here.
Oh, sorry.
I told you could have just said the words.
He's pretty good with the beeps in there, you know?
Yeah. I was just curious to how that would sound.
And they said the word cigarette many times in there. I don't get that.
Yeah.
I should have beeped that.
Smoking's bad, okay?
Because, you know, when you watch TV shows, they'll have graphic nudity, intense violence.
Right.
Cigarettes.
Yeah, that's true. Smoking. It's smoking.
Yes.
Which is weird, but yeah, I mean, kids used to smoke back in the day. What age did you have your first cigarette?
I was 13.
I was 3.
3? No, you weren't.
No. I never smoked. Well, yes, I was.
I'm just talking about one cigarette. First one ever.
18.
Really?
I took my first chew at 9.
Well, that's a little different. We've all got grandpas and uncles that were like, "Hey, man, try it," and then you puke your brains out, and they all laugh.
Yeah, I was pressured by friends of mine. They were like, "Smoke this," and I did just to be cool.
Well, I mean, I couldn't because I had a defective lung, so I had to be very careful. However, my parents smoked, my grandparents smoked, everybody smoked around me, so I got plenty of smoke.
Yeah, you still
in
got
the 70s, man. I got plenty of smoke.
You got enough nicotine. I think I was probably 12 or 13 as well.
Yeah,
somewhere around there. Anyway, let's go back to Kamala, who, whether or not she's black is kind of irrelevant.
Birth certificates definitely don't mean anything.
Yeah, birth certificates don't lie. Your family photos don't lie, and your reputation doesn't lie. So people that know you from back then, you can rebrand yourself all you want to run for president, but there's still a ton of people that crossed paths with you over the years, professionally, personally, that know who you are. And the perfect case for that is Judge Joe Brown, who is a judge in California, knows all about Kamala Harris, and will tell you exactly who she is. He was just recently on another podcast. What is it called? The Art of Dialogue. I don't know anything about.
Sounds interesting.
That. I mean, this episode was interesting. At least I don't know how the rest of them are, but here's Judge Joe Brown's assessment of Kamala Harris.
But I gotta ask you about Kamala Harris. How you feel about her?
She's a piece of shit. I was in California. She lacked professional competence, and she worked on it by hiking up her hemline when she needed influence rather than researching. She's always tried to do the casting couch to get where she wants.
Damn.
Now, the problem is that'll get somebody to a certain level quickly, but you can't get past that level if you don't have competence and talent. So my thing about it is if I'm crude about it, in this city years ago, I used to represent a whole bunch of pimps and hoes, and I know a hoe when I see one.
Oh, my
and
gosh.
I say this, I don't care, women, you do what you want to do if you want to have recreational sex, but when you do the casting couch or anything else for professional purposes to get paid or advance, you a hoe. And she's a hoe. And the problem is what is she supposed to do? One of her sycophant slaves comes up and unwraps her in a carpet naked at Putin's feet, and he says, "Oh, yeah, I'm Julius Caesar." He said, "No, ho, I got better stuff here already. Plus, I don't want you anyway. You old woman." Or Xi Jinping, is he supposed to be impressed? She's doing word salad. Well, we're here today because China and the U.S. are here today, and that's why we have to agree on what we're doing here today. Like, fool, what did you just say? Did you say anything?
Man.
So based. Oh my God.
I love it.
Oh, Judge Joe Brown, you're the best. He's
And he
the
acts
best.
like he really knows what he's talking about.
We need to see if we can't get him on this podcast in some capacity. I mean, over Zoom or whatever. He needs to get with the Trump campaign. I mean, if he's that passionate about Kamala Harris being what she is, I mean, he's not wrong. Mm-hmm. He needs to team up with the Trump campaign and put out some ads.
I can say this: I don't think he's probably not under contract anymore with any network, or else he wouldn't be saying any of this stuff.
Yeah, he's free, man. He's old, and once you get old, you don't have anything to hide. You tell people what's on your mind. You don't care.
Yeah.
Judge Joe Brown, man, get after it. Because think of the ads that could come out from, hey, I'm Judge Joe Brown, and I support Trump, and then just lay into Kamala Harris for 30 seconds straight. Just wear her out. Because their ads wouldn't be able to compare to that. The ads they're putting out are absolute cringe. I mean, cringe city. They're so bad. There's the one where they have these old, sweaty, creepy-looking guys that are pretending to be MAGA Republicans, and they're saying, we're going to take away your bedroom privacy. Here it is right here. So this is put out by a Kamala Harris PAC. Again, guys who John Bird pointed out earlier today, he's like, they all sound like they're gay, and so you had to get soy boys to pretend to be MAGA Republicans. Watch this.
Us MAGA Republicans banned abortion. That's just the start.
That's just the start. If Trump gets elected, we want the government involved in all aspects of your sex life.
Way more involved.
Way more the shadow and everything.
When you have sexual intercourse, it should be illegal to use contraception. No pills, no condoms.
Your genitals are reserved for procreation.
If you freeze 12 eggs, you should be required to have 12 babies, or else you're a serial killer. And I'm definitely not a serial killer.
Are you?
My son monitors my porn usage to make sure I'm not self-pleasuring.
Just like Speaker of the House Mike Johnson. That's true. You can look it up.
Don't you think that's normal?
Yeah, I do.
It's normal for your son to do that.
You should have a family member monitor your porn use, too.
Because pleasuring yourself is very, very naughty.
I'm voting in November.
I'm voting in November.
We're all voting in November. Are you?
Because what happens in your bedroom is up to me.
Is up to me and my son. Also, mouth stuff is a sin.
Do you see the herpy on that one guy's lip, for Christ's sake?
They really went. That was actually probably real, if we're being honest, because these were leftist. And
it's like a comedy routine.
Nobody's proposing any sort of policies to be in anybody's bedroom. Like, that is... It's so insane.
I mean, the production of it, even the big shadow behind him and everything else, it's just totally tries to make him
sweat stains, nasty teeth. Yeah. Like, it was a whole thing.
It might have been a DEI video company they hired.
Could be. At the end of the day, people are going to see that video and they're going to cringe so hard they're not going to make it all the way through. They're going to end up turning it off, and then they're never going to get the message. They're going to say, ooh, look at these pedophiles. Cut it off. If Kamala Harris, if the Harris campaign wants advice from us, they should put together ads like this, okay? This is, I don't know if anybody's got connections with the campaign, but if Kamala Harris wants a shot at the White House, she needs to use this one right here.
All right.
I, Kamala Harris, am your Democrat candidate for president because Joe Biden finally exposed his senility at the debate. Thanks, Joe. I was selected because I am the ultimate diversity hire. I'm both a woman and a person of color. So if you criticize anything I say, you're both sexist and racist. I may not know the first thing about running the country, but remember, that's a good thing if you're a deep state puppet. I had 4 years under the tutelage of the ultimate deep state puppet, a wonderful mentor, Joe Biden. Joe taught me rule number 1, carefully hide your total incompetence. I take insignificant things and I discuss them as if they're significant. And I believe that exploring the significance of the insignificant is in itself significant. Talking about the significance of the passage of time. Right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time, and there is such great significance to the passage of time. Another trick is trying to sound bold. I pretend to celebrate Kwanzaa, and In my speeches, I always do my best Barack Obama impression.
So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type.
And okay, look, maybe my work addressing the root causes of the border crisis were catastrophic, but my knowledge of international politics is truly shocking.
The United States shares a very important relationship, which is an alliance with the Republic of North Korea. It is an alliance that is strong and enduring.
And just remember, when voting this November, it is important to see what can be unburdened by what has been. And by what has been, I mean Joe Biden.
There you
the
go.
Country went to over the past 4 years. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Come on. There you go. Right there. Put it in the campaign, baby. Think about how good that could be. You know what's funny is they put that ad out, and Gavin Newsom got so bent out of shape about it. He put out a tweet, and he said, manipulating a voice in an ad like this one should be illegal. I'll be signing a bill in a matter of weeks to make sure it is. So I'm going to limit free speech. You go down and you look at the first comment. It's Elon Musk, and he says, I checked with renowned world authority, Professor Sugon D's Nuts, and he said parody is legal in America.
It is. I can state that because I've been doing it for 30 plus years, and it is legal in America.
Did you ever check with Professor Sugon D's Nuts?
No, I did not. I don't think he was involved with the Copyright Office at the time. But
well,
I've heard he's a big advocate of parodies.
Yes. And sucking on these nuts.
He wouldn't have put that out if he didn't talk to some people first.
Yeah, I think so.
You know what? In the spirit of Gavin Newsom, let's do another one.
Okay.
You want to do another Kamala ad?
Of course.
All right, let's go with this is actually brought to you by Professor Sugon D's Nuts.
I'm Kamala Harris, and this is my rebranding. I get it. Until now, Americans have seen me as that childless Karen that always has too many drinks at the cocktail party, and you don't have the heart to tell my husband Doug that he's a whipped beta male married to an insufferable witch. Look, I get it. I'm unlikable. I'm inauthentic. I say crazy shit.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. When we talk about the children of the community, they are the children of the community. You need to get to go and need to be able to get where you need to go to do the work and get home.
And yes, okay, I was the border czar. And so even though I might have been a bad vice president, what I do have is ambition. You would not believe what I would do for this country. Oh, who am I kidding? If you vote for me, you're as cringe as Chuck Schumer.
We are here today to throw our support behind Vice President Kamala Harris. I'm clapping. You don't have to.
Let's all see what can be. Unburdened by what has been. And by what has been, I mean the Biden-Harris administration. Vote Trump 2024. Let's make America great again.
I'm Professor Sagan D's Nuts, and I approved this message.
There we go, baby. Yeah.
Nice.
Put that on the campaign trail, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Love it.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Who do these people think they're really kidding? I just can't believe some people fall for all this crap, you know.
Here's what it's going to take. It's going to take people getting interested enough in the weeks leading up to the election to just do a little research. And I don't mean you got to research by looking up articles and reading the facts and checking with the fact checkers. I mean, just get on Twitter, cuh. Just get on Twitter and scroll. You'll find out all the stuff you need to know. It'll be exposed that she's not black, that she's insufferable, that nobody likes her, that when she was in office, staffers were not allowed to look her in the eyes, that she would berate these people, crush their soul, make them cry. Like, all of that's out there. Nobody, just like how everybody kind of respected Joe Biden in Washington, but they viewed him as a joke because, as Barack Obama famously said, don't underestimate Joe's ability to F things up. Like, everybody knew Joe was an F up, but he was a nice guy and they respected him. Nobody respects Kamala Harris.
No.
Nobody likes her. But they're like, our only chance to get back the black vote is to put up a black candidate. Oh, wait, we don't have a black candidate, but Kamala's kind of brown, so we'll just pretend like she's black. That's where they're at right now. You are here. Boom.
I mean, I just wonder, I mean, are people really falling for it? You can't really trust the polls. There's one poll shows her up 10 points
There's
in
no
Michigan.
way.
Give
There's
me
no
a
way.
break.
She's not.
A 25-point swing from Joe Biden to her.
Well, we always thought the polls, remember, Hillary was supposed to blow out Donald Trump. And we said to ourselves, there's no way those polls are real. And they weren't.
Yep.
They were wrong. And a big part of it, it's kind of twofold. You've got on one side, Trump supporters didn't trust the fake news, so they weren't answering these polls. And two, with what's going on right now, is the people conducting the polls are creating this facade that Kamala Harris is liked by people or supported by people. They're in this honeymoon period where it's Kamala's new, let's vote for her, stop Trump. But that's going to wear off. Like, we're actually at the end now of the honeymoon period.
Well, I mean, I think it can work against them. Because if it looks like, oh, she's surging ahead, people that were on the fence or the black folks that understand what Trump will do, I mean, it might activate them.
Yeah.
You know, to get out there.
Let me give y'all real quick, and I'm emailing you, Tony, what the strategy is. Here's the strategy. One is to make Kamala look super black. Mm-hmm. She's black, don't question it. Number two, and it'll be in your email, Tony, if you grab that. Right. The second part of that strategy is going to be paint Donald Trump as a racist, which is what they tried to do today. It's something they've been doing this whole time, and make him look like, you know, a racist or make him look like a bad guy. One of those strategies is take people from his inner circle, offer him a book deal, pay him $2 million, then have him go on TV and trash the guy and say, I personally know Trump. I know who he is deep down, like the real Donald Trump, and he's different than what you see. He's actually an awful human being. Case in point, right now that person is Fred Trump, Donald Trump's nephew, his brother's son. His brother's son had some sort of, call it a deep state offer or whatever. He's now got a book, and he's doing the rounds on media talking about what an awful human being Donald Trump is. Here's him on ABC yesterday.
Advocate for the disabled. I was in the Oval Office 12 times and that was our mission, to advocate for people with complex disabilities. It culminated in May of 2020 in the Oval Office. Donald was there, and he was very gracious. Several other folks were there, including the group that we brought down. We dispersed. I was asked to go back and see Donald. He greeted me with his familiar, hey, pal, how's it going? We sat down for a bit. And he just came out with, these people, all the expenses, they should just die. What? He's talking about human beings who have complex issues. And the first thing he could say was, they should just die.
All right,
Fred
pause
claims
it right
this
there.
wasn't isolated, describing
this is him claiming, now he's got a son that had a disability, and so his passion was that, to try to help people with disabilities. And he claims, and he's allegedly his whole life had a good relationship with Trump, enough to go to the White House and pitch an idea to him, and Trump's response to his childhood friend and his, well, not childhood, but his nephew, who he has known forever, why don't those people just die? Knowing the connection that he has with disabled people because of his son. But that wasn't it. That wasn't the end of it. He goes on in this interview and talks about what Donald Trump said about his son directly.
Phone call to alert his uncle the medical fund set up by the family for his son William was running low, a fund he says the former president consistently replenished. A couple of years ago, I called him. I said, Donald, the fund's running out. And without hesitation, he said, your son doesn't recognize you. Let him die.
What?
And move to Florida.
Were you surprised?
That's a great question. My response was, no, Donald, he does recognize me, and said, thanks, and hung up.
It's full of shit.
Was I surprised? I don't think you could hear something like that and not be surprised. But that is what he has become. It's sad.
There's a chapter.
This dude's body language is giving bullshit vibes. This dude's full of it.
Oh my God.
I don't even.
Why didn't he write the book a year ago?
You notice, I got you one more email, Tony Gump. You notice one thing that they slipped in there, which was Donald Trump had set up the fund to pay for that guy's son's medical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that they slipped in there that they just kind of breezed over was he said that Donald Trump constantly replenished the funds, which means Donald Trump was paying millions and millions of dollars to Fred Trump in order to take care of his son, and then all of a sudden you go to where you call Trump up and he's like, just let him die. After all that money? Come on. Nobody's believing that. But here goes back to my original point when it comes to Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is going to be labeled as black. You can't question it, otherwise you're racist. Right. And simultaneously, we're going to paint Trump as somebody that hates black people. And I know that seems like an old, tired point that they've already tried before, but they will always go back to racism, which is what they're doing here. And this time they're utilizing Fred Trump on that front. Here's him on The View.
I believe in policy over politics.
Yeah.
And without question, Kamala Harris's policies are what I get behind. So I will be voting for Kamala Harris.
The fact he's on The View is a joke in and of itself.
Right.
I campaign for her without hesitation.
Good.
And that's actually not the clip that I was thinking of. I'll see if I can find it. I sent you the wrong one. But he goes on to talk about, this is in his book, that Donald Trump consistently used the N-word. Do you remember us playing that earlier?
I do.
Let me see if I can find that. Let's see here. And of course, do you want to guess which one was the one that asked him the question? It was Sonny Hostin, of course.
Of course.
Oh God.
Frank Trump. Just go to Twitter and search Frank Trump The View. That's the clip I need. I had it earlier. I don't know what happened to it. They've got the whole interview, but I don't want to go through all that. Let's see. Yeah, maybe we can't find it. It's fine. We played it on the radio show. So again, he says that somebody slashed the hood of his Eldorado, and Donald Trump was like, those stupid N-words or whatever, not knowing who it was. And then he recounted a story of his bike being stolen, how Trump wanted to prosecute the black kid that stole the bike. It's so ridiculous. And it's such an old, tired play that nobody's buying anymore. We're over it. No, everybody's moved past it. People are starting to look back in their past and say to themselves, Trump wasn't a racist till he ran for president. We were taught to love him. The one guy, what's his name? Clarence White, or he makes a phenomenal point, because he goes and he says, the reason I support Donald Trump is because I was taught throughout growing up in the black community that Donald Trump was a champion for the black community. Mm-hmm. I saw him with Muhammad Ali. I saw him with Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson. And we were always taught he was good. And he was in the movies and he was helping people and everything else. Then he ran for president. He was racist. I said to myself, what are you talking about? I've never seen this guy be racist. And so that's where we're at. Like, you look at the map on the mall, at the mall when you get to the directory, the little star on there, you are here. That's where you are, John Bird.
I'm right here.
Speaking of right here, I pulled up this clip. I saw this earlier yesterday.
Yeah.
This was what told me that we're on the right side of things. I don't know if you want to play this. But
I saw a portion of this. This was, so this guy, from my understanding, is wearing a Trump shirt and under that Trump shirt is a Kamala Harris shirt, and he's going to the opposing sides to see how they react. Is that right?
Right.
Okay, yeah, let's watch this.
Watch as this guy goes to a Biden protest in a Trump shirt and a Trump event in a Biden shirt. You can clearly see the difference between Trump and Biden supporters.
I'm right into the Biden protest with the Trump shirt. Get your ass across the street. What the f*** is everyone so hostile?
Go over there with your people.
You guys are my people. Look.
No, you're not.
You're a Trump supporter. No, Biden sniffs children, not Trump. No, stop. Don't sniff. Stop, I'm blending in.
He said don't sniff.
No. Why is everyone so angry? I'm just
dumb or stupid?
I'm just walking the sidewalk. You see how much hate it is over here? It's a public sidewalk. I feel like I'm gonna get jumped out. Oh. When you poured water on me, did it make you feel happy? Yeah. I have to change shirts. Can I hide behind you?
Yeah.
Don't give me a hug.
Okay. I was feeling crazy today. Hey, come on. It's just so much more respect over here. I'm here for my favorite president, Biden 2024. I want to sniff children.
Oh, man. Yeah, and that's, you'll see that, you know, in a million different cases, too. That's the way these people act. There was one, I thought the girl worked for InfoWars, but maybe she didn't. She went over to where there was on each side of the street, with one side or the other. I don't know if it was a Hillary. Maybe it was a Biden-Trump thing. Mm-hmm. And there was a black guy on the Biden side of the street, and he was talking about how hateful those other people were, the Trump people were on the other side. She said, well, let me take you over there, and let's just see how they act when I take you over there. Because he was like, they're all racist and blah, blah, blah. And all the people were like, hey, brother, you want to come in? You want to sit with us? You know, and all this kind of stuff. And he was like, wow, I didn't expect it to be like that. And that's the way it is in reality, in the real world.
But they don't live in the real world.
But they don't live in the real world. They live in a fantasy land that has been created by the Democrats.
Yep.
So, there we go.
Yeah, and that's a good point. I went somewhere recently where it was a bunch of liberals at a dinner table, and I basically had to keep quiet because there was just so much hate. They were so angry about everything. But you could be a Biden or Harris supporter and go to like a Trump dinner table, and you could voice your opinion, and everybody either laugh or just stay quiet, and just, you know, they'll still talk to you and not be hateful.
For a group of people, or for an ideology to be all about making everybody feel good and inclusive and everything else, they're always so angry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to be a leftist is to constantly be angry. Because even with the serious stuff we talk about, we have fun with it. Yeah. We laugh and we cut up. Like, if we were doing liberal news talk, there would be no fun.
No.
We would be mad. And
yeah, these people are like foaming at the mouth mad. You know,
we would have our talking points.
Yes,
that's
right.
Had to stick to.
We would have been emailed the talking point list. All right, well, that's a wrap for us today. Tony Gump, do you got any final words, my friend?
Sure, a little different this time. Stay true to yourself. Don't believe what the media tells you. Go with what's in your heart, and just know that if you're a Trump supporter, there's no hate there. We're all one big family. We all want to save this country very, very desperately.
Yes, quit being ugly to everybody that has a different view than you. John Bird.
I'd like to quote the great Megan Thee Stallion, and I want you people to take this to heart. English girl named Fiona, big baddie girl named Abiola, body shaped like cola. Fuck that man. I don't give a fuck. Boom, boom. Thank you.
Well, it's great. Good job.
Thank you.
You know, his final words just continue to get better and better.
Oh, yeah.
And that's going to be a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, too, for joining me today.
Thank you.
We'll be back with a brand new episode very soon. And until next time, see you guys!